Creating impactful and lasting change is a mission, a vision, and a movement. Welcome to Nonprofit Voices of Impact, the show that will delve into the heart of the nonprofit world, showcasing the leaders and change makers who are driving meaningful transformation in our community. Through engaging interviews, real-life success stories, and valuable insights, this podcast highlights the passion, innovation, and dedication that fuels nonprofits across Westchester County. Whether you're a nonprofit leader or advocate, Nonprofit Voices of Impact empowers you with the knowledge and inspiration to make a powerful difference. I'm your host, Dr. Marsha Gordon, President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester, and I'm joined by my co-host, Linda Tyler, Vice President of Membership and Programs, Business Council of Westchester.
The BCW nonprofit Voices of Impact is proudly sponsored by New York Presbyterian and Beacon Bank, formerly PCSB Bank. Thank you for your support. Take your organization far with the power of local banking. Beacon Bank, formerly known as PCSB Bank, has an array of services, customized solutions, and local financing decisions that mean you have a powerful commercial bank nearby when you need them. Voted Best in Business Banking for 2 years in a row by 914 Inc., Beacon Bank's commitment to serving customers, consumers, businesses, and nonprofits in the community is unparalleled. Stop by one of their 14 branches located throughout Westchester, Putnam, Dutchess, and Rockland counties, or call 888-808-4700 to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
New York Presbyterian has 3 campus locations in Westchester: New York Presbyterian Westchester in Bronxville, New York Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital in Cortlandt Manor, and New York Presbyterian Westchester Behavioral Health in White Plains, and a new state-of-the-art facility opening in 2025 at 1111 Westchester Avenue in White Plains. Known as New York Presbyterian The One, this center of excellence will improve access to medical care by offering a wide range of adult and pediatric specialty care, all under one roof, delivered by exceptional teams led by trusted Columbia doctors. NYP The One will include centers of excellence in cardiovascular and neurosensory treatment, men's health, women's health, pediatric health, and a cancer center satellite.
On today's episode, we're joined by leaders dedicating to help children and families thrive throughout our community. We're pleased to welcome Carrie Rockwell, CEO of Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson, and Diane Rosenthal, Executive Director of Student Advocacy. Welcome to you both. We're looking forward to the conversation. Through youth development, educational advocacy, and direct support for families, these organizations are empowering young people with the confidence, resources, and opportunities they need to reach their full potential. Carrie and Diane, thank you again for being here today. And to start, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves and the missions of your organizations and the clients you serve? Carrie, let's start with you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here today. Excited to share a little bit about Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. So my name is Carrie Rockwell. I'm CEO for Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. I've been with the organization for about 20 months, having spent 2 years previous with another Girl Scout council in the Midwest, and then 20 years prior to that in school administration, K-12. And so I've spent my entire adulthood serving youth. And more specifically with Girl Scouts, our mission is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character. So historically, we did that through after-school traditional troops, but our program, our mission has grown tremendously. So we serve girls in all sorts of ways, whether it's after school. We have lots of troops, especially at the middle school age, who meet on Friday evenings because that's most convenient. We have troops that meet just once a month, twice a month, and sometimes even just quarterly. So we really try and meet the girls, the leaders where they're at. We recognize that everyone has lots of choices in their extracurriculars. And we also understand that most of our leaders are working parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents. And so our mission is not only to build girls of courage, confidence, and character, but also provide families exceptional opportunities where they can be in our community and serve not only girls, but also the entire community through service projects and other wonderful experiences.
Well, I love the organization. As we were saying earlier, I was a Girl Scout and a Girl Scout troop leader for many years, so very familiar with the program and the great work that you do. Diane, let's talk about student advocacy and your mission and your clients.
Sure, thank you. I first want to thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of student advocacy as part of the Nonprofit Voices series and all that you do at the Business Council here to really elevate the nonprofit community in Westchester County. So thank you for that. We are also proud members of the Business Council.
Thank you.
And,
appreciate that.
I began my career in education as a middle school teacher in Yonkers and followed by nearly 4 decades in nonprofit management,
Wow.
beginning at the New York Public Library, managing their adult education program for over 10 years. I've been at student advocacy now for 5.5 years, and like Carrie, I've always believed that access to education is truly the key to opportunity for our children and youth.
And for decades to come.
Yes.
And you're really helping students that are struggling in a different way,
Yes.
right? That need the advocacy and the support and the resources so they know what's available as well as their parents. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure. So it's student advocacy. We provide counsel and legal representation on education matters for students who are struggling in school. They may have learning or physical disabilities. They may have mental health challenges. But whatever is preventing a child from accessing their education, we really are the only nonprofit in Westchester County whose mission is exclusively devoted to providing legal counsel and representation on education matters for children and youth in Westchester County. The families who seek our guidance have limited financial resources and receive our services at no cost. Our team is comprised of attorneys and advocates with expertise in education and special education law.
So that's really good for parents who are listening out there. If your child is struggling and you're not sure what to do next or where to go, you have the legal and educational resources to help them figure out a path for their child.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment.
Sure.
Carrie, let's talk about, Girl Scouts. We all know Girl Scouts. You've been around for so many years and great programs, but what is the number one thing that you really want people to understand about Girl Scouting?
Sure. I think, historically, Girl Scouts has been all about cookies, crafts, and camp. And that's what everybody knows, and we love that, but we are so much more than that. So I think what Diane was talking about is accessing education and making sure that every child has that capability, has that capacity, and has that access. And Girl Scouts is part of that process. We look at ourselves as an extension of community education, and we believe that we can provide many, many opportunities that the school day just can't do anymore. And so we provide STEM experiences. We provide incredible travel, both stateside and overseas travel. We provide opportunities all across the board that give girls the opportunity to expand their soft skills. So a girl might be out climbing in a high ropes element. They might be traveling for a plane on their first time. But what we find is if we provide the experience, the girls learn the soft skills. And they really, at age 12, they don't call them soft skills. They have no idea. They're becoming more courageous. They're becoming more confident. They're building character. They're building integrity. And we do that through experience, by providing strong mentors and leaders for girls, by offering not only girl experiences, but also family and friend opportunities to join them. And by doing so, we're building women who are going to not only today lead our troops and provide their own opportunities for younger girls, but they're also leading tomorrow. They will be our caregivers as we age and as we look for the next generation to take on big challenges. Those are Girl Scouts doing the work.
You are creating foundations, which is terrific and very important and meaningful. Diane, let's talk a little bit about why a family would reach out to student advocacy for assistance and what types of situations do you most commonly help them navigate?
Sure. So There are many reasons why a family would reach out to student advocacy. Their child may be falling behind in school. They may be refusing to go to school. There could be a residency or a registration issue, or the child could be suspended. We represent families at Committee on Special Education meetings. We help them to obtain or to review an individual education program if the student needs or the child needs to be classified with a disability. There are just so many needs in this county. There are approximately about 18% of students are classified with disabilities in Westchester County. However, we know that there are many more people who are children who are struggling and are not sure how to get the services they're legally entitled to.
And that's such a good point, because there's a legal quagmire sometimes that has to be navigated, and then the resources, because families need to know what is available for their children and what legal rights they have or what legal issues they need to address. So what the work you're doing is really profound. And let's talk about, we're talking about challenges a little bit. Let's talk today, Carrie, about what young people are facing, new challenges and opportunities today, and how Girl Scouts is responding to those challenges and opportunities for today's young women and teens and young girls.
Yes, absolutely. We are facing a crisis of mental health across our society, and Girl Scouts is ready to face that challenge and is doing that every day through, again, the girl experiences. I mentioned the soft skills that our girls are learning, and we're doing it in safe spaces. So we serve girls and youth identifying as girls, and we do that through providing incredible training and leadership mentorship to adults who want to be in partnership with girls, to lead troops, to be volunteers at a cookie booth or out at a camp for the summer. And when we do that, we make sure that all of our adults are background checked. We provide, again, incredible opportunities for training, such as CPR, first aid, AED training, and probably the most recent add-on in training and incredibly important is first aid youth mental health. And that is really ensuring that our adults know the right questions to ask, the right things to say in response to girls who approach them with a concern or a crisis in their life. And our girls are busy, our families are busy, and we want to make sure that the family has a village. We've said that for many, many decades, but it's so true and it's so important. And Girl Scouts loves being part of that village for our Girl Scouts and for our community.
And the running theme I'm hearing from both of your wonderful organizations is support. You're providing a lot of support, both to kids, children, teens, and their parents and their families. Diane, once a family comes to student advocacy, how do you work with them to ensure their children receive the educational resources and services that they're legally entitled to?
Sure. So when a family reaches out to us, there is an intake process. And first, we really have to determine if there is a legal educational matter. Once that is determined, the child and the family is referred to one of our attorneys or advocates, and we really take a deep dive into that child's history. Every child is unique, as Carrie just said, and we really need to understand the situation that the child is facing in school. We request school evaluations, outside evaluations, any other professionals that have been working with the child or the family, we will reach out to them as well. And we really put together a comprehensive picture of what the child's needs are and what the legal entitlements are. And that's really key. It's the legal entitlements. Families really have to understand that we are working within the context of the law, and we can provide to them what the child needs based on what their situation is. We also I was just thinking of a young man who came to us and was diagnosed at an early age with ADHD and speech and hearing impairment. He was really struggling in school, and his mother was a really strong advocate. But the complexities of the system were overwhelming for her. So with the support of the attorney, we were able to revise his individual education program and get him speech and language therapy, counseling, a smaller school classroom setting. And I do want to say that we just contacted the family a couple of months ago. The young man is now at Westchester Community College.
Oh, I love stories
something
like
that they couldn't have imagined 5 years ago.
So you're helping kids, and Girl Scouts as well, and student advocacy, you're helping kids want to be involved. You're helping kids want to go to school, because if they're in the right setting with the right support, they're going to want to go. They're going to want to learn. They're going to want to be in social situations and groups. So that's really what your organizations are doing, is you're helping kids feel connected. We're going to take a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
New York Presbyterian has 3 campus locations in Westchester: New York Presbyterian Westchester in Bronxville, New York Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital in Cortlandt Manor, and New York Presbyterian Westchester Behavioral Health in White Plains, and a new state-of-the-art facility opening in 2025 at 1111 Westchester Avenue in White Plains. Known as New York Presbyterian The One, this center of excellence will improve access to medical care by offering a wide range of adult and pediatric specialty care, all under one roof, delivered by exceptional teams led by trusted Columbia doctors. NYP The One will include centers of excellence in cardiovascular and neurosensory treatment, men's health, women's health, pediatric health, and a cancer center satellite.
You've cultivated roots in the community for your organization, and just as you've built trust with your constituents, you expect the same from your bank. With Beacon Bank, formerly known as PCSB Bank's breadth of services and customized solutions, including residential mortgages, commercial banking, and wealth management, you can put your trust in a local banking partner that understands your unique needs and puts customers first. Stop by one of Beacon Bank's 14 branches located throughout Westchester, Putnam, Dutchess, and Rockland counties, or call 888-808-4700 to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Hello, and we're back. Welcome to the BCW Nonprofit Voices of Impact. And I'm happy to again welcome our guests, Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson Valley and Student Advocacy, as we talk about the great missions your organizations represent and what you're doing to support children and teens throughout the community. Diane and Carrie, let's talk about what trends you're seeing among children and teens in our community today and how your organizations are adapting to address those evolving needs. Who wants to start?
Okay, I'll start, Linda. Just to piggyback on what Carrie said a few minutes ago, we too are definitely seeing an increase in mental health matters among the children who are seeking our services. I also want to add that historically we've been around for over 40 years, and I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, the majority of our students were in middle school and high school. We now have a 50% split between children in elementary school and children who are in middle school and high school. So children are experiencing struggles and challenges at an earlier age. But on the positive side, people are also reaching out, and there's been a destigmatization of, seeking assistance and seeking help. With the mental health issues, I can really say that stresses on families, food insecurity, housing instability, immigration, and then for children, certainly screen time, social media, social isolation, all those things have really impacted our youth.
That makes sense. All very logical. Carrie, how would you like to add?
Yeah, I agree, obviously, about the mental health needs of our youth. And I think for Girl Scouts, we recognize those needs. We work with our girls individually at the troop level and even on a broader council-wide scale. And so our approach, obviously, is a little bit different than student advocacy. We're really trying to provide opportunities that get girls out, get them socializing appropriately. I think that the appropriate socialization is key to how we serve our youth, regardless of whether it's an after-school program or in a school setting, and ensuring that they have proper role models that can really serve them well and help them through those tough times and be a support to them now and in the future. And so we are very big into establishing relationships with our Girl Scouts through leadership, mentorship. A troop leader is the perfect example of, I just recently had a conversation with a group of 20-somethings in Nyack, actually. And this was a group of girls who are adults. They're graduated from college, they're working, and they are successful. They have their own places. They have their newer group of friends in adulthood. But what really resonated with me was the powerful impact that Girl Scouts had from age 5 to 18 to the point where 7, 8, 9 years later, these girls are still coming back to see not only their Girl Scout peers, but their troop leader.
Oh, because they were their role models.
The power of the troop leader is absolutely incredible. So we have 11,000 plus Girl Scouts right here in Westchester. And so many of the powerful women that you see in the Westchester community are currently Girl Scouts or were Girl Scouts as a youth member. And I think it's really incredible to see the really powerful presence that adults have in our community. And when I say troop leaders, I'm not saying just women. We have incredible males that serve as troop leaders for their granddaughters, for their nieces. And so I think that the powerful mentor as an adult doesn't have to be a female. It's really quite incredible to see the family pull together to support a Girl Scout.
I am really glad you mentioned that because I think people may forget grandpas can do this or dads or uncles. That's a really great point, that just want to support their family members and help create, I think we all as parents and adults, we just want to see the young people around us thrive and grow. And we want to help create a really positive experience for them as kids' journey through to adulthood. Diane, let's talk a little bit too about, we've talked a little bit more, but let's focus on it for a minute more because it's so important, the legal education advocacy and why it's so essential for children who are struggling in school, because everyone does have rights and making sure that those needs are met, especially when you have a child, you're as a parent or a teacher, you're not sure quite what they need, but they need some help and how you get it and how you get that advocacy support. Let's touch upon that again, because that also impacts mental health, right? If
Absolutely.
Kids aren't happy or they're struggling in school, that will impact their mental health.
Absolutely. So, students are protected under the IDEA, the Individuals with Disability Education Act, and that really, if a child is classified with a disability, they are legally entitled to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. And what that really means is that children should be educated along with their peers, and they should have rights to be in inclusive, supportive, and safe spaces, just as Carrie said. When you talked about Girl Scouts, one of the things that I was thinking about also is that, when families come to us, when a child is in stress, the whole family is in stress. And one of the things that's really important in our practice is we really work with the whole family. We seek to educate the family, to help them understand what the challenges are, and also how their child's unique needs can be met legally through appropriate advocacy within the school system.
This is a great running theme I'm hearing between both of your organizations. It really is about families, and it does take a village in so many different ways. Carrie, as a new leader, you're both leaders of such important organizations. As a new leaders, can you share an experience? What has been your most impactful experience so far?
So I would say just seeing the growth of our girls and our leaders, the experiences that are provided to them. So just thinking about some of our local girls. We have a Girl Scout from the Scarsdale Edgemont area. She is off to the Air Force Academy and just using so many of the skills that she learned in Girl Scouts, communication, standing in front of a big crowd and being willing to share her story and share her voice and not be afraid to stand there and share what she believes and be able to answer questions that might be contrary to what she believes. And then we have another Girl Scout in White Plains that she was the salutatorian of her class this year at White Plains High School. So we're super proud. And those are two examples of over 14,000 Girl Scouts across the Hudson Valley and about 8,000 here in Westchester. Their experiences have really shown the power of Girl Scouts through groups such as the Hudson Hurricanes, a rowing team, our techno teams. We have 4 Girl Scout techno teams that work out of the Portchester Girl Scout Program Center. So we're providing experiences to girls that they might not necessarily get in a school day. They're busy working their core subjects and ensuring that they're preparing for graduation, which obviously we fully support, but through Girl Scouts, we can provide many incredible opportunities to extend their day and provide them years of service and impact to come.
Wonderful, wonderful stories and meaningful stories and stories that are so important. And we have time for one last question. Unfortunately, I wish there were more, but let's talk about we can't do this alone. These wonderful, many non-for-profit organizations here in Westchester County. Tell us about your community partnerships and who you work with so that you can gain awareness, get the funding, the volunteers, everything. Tell us a little bit about the community impact and your partnerships. Diane, let's start with you. I think we've got a minute, so we're going to be quick, but tell us a little bit.
Sure. So I just want to say Westchester County is extremely fortunate to have a strong social service network that is really committed to the well-being of youth and families who live and work here. We work with so many organizations, the Westchester County Youth Bureau, the Department of Probation. We work with all the school systems. And, agencies really here are committed to pooling their resources, their knowledge to affect positive change.
I love that. It's a wonderful, so proud to be a part of Westchester County. Yes. We all pull together. Tell us a little bit about your partnerships.
So I agree. I've lived all over the country and have never seen a county that serves its families like Westchester does. So I absolutely agree with Diane's statement. We work with multiple agencies, organizations, school districts here in Westchester County. Patrina Foundation is one that comes to mind. The Carvel Foundation is another. We're just grateful for the impact that Business Council of Westchester has provided, not only to Girl Scouts, but as Diane mentioned, so many agencies across the county. The partnerships are paramount to what we do to support each other and to support families. And again, I've never seen anything like it. Another organization that I'm just really appreciative of is Nonprofit Westchester.
They do a great job.
They do. And I think without BCW and without Nonprofit Westchester would be a much different place and not nearly as vibrant and important to families as it is today.
And what makes us unique here at the Business Council of Westchester, we have over 1,100 businesses who are current members, and of those 1,100 businesses, 160 are non-for-profit. So it's a unique and wonderful piece of our membership organization. And thank you both for being here today and sharing your stories and sharing your missions and the great work you're doing, and just as importantly, the impact it's having on your Girl Scouts and your clients and students. So thank you again for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be sure to check out the BCW Podcast Network's expansive lineup of shows: Leadership Unleashed, What's Trending, Advocacy and Politics Unplugged, The Member Spotlight, and Nonprofit Voices of Impact. The Business Council of Westchester is the county's largest business membership organization focusing on economic development and advocacy. With over 1,100 members, it is our mission to work for the profitability of our members and the prosperity of the Westchester community. To learn more about the Business Council of Westchester, please go to thebcw.org.